it has just been announced that Squid Game, the Netflix original, is Netflix's biggest ever series launch, which is huge. That is a very, very big deal. And we're going to talk about what that could mean for Netflix going forward. So let's go ahead and get into this article a bit. Squid Game, a fictional drama from South Korea, is Netflix's biggest series ever at launch. The dystopian series, in which contestants who are deeply in need of money play deadly children's games to win cash prizes, has been viewed by 111 million accounts since debuting on Netflix September 17th, which is crazy. That is so long ago. That's nearly a month ago. To give that number some context, Netflix announced earlier this year that 82 million households watched Bridgerton in the first 28 days following its Christmas debut. This was originally the first or the biggest Netflix show prior to Squid Game's coming out. Squid Game surpassed that number in a shorter amount of time, which is insane. The series is number one on Netflix top 10 list in 94 countries around the world. This platform's first ever Korean series to reach number one in the United States. The numbers speak to the sheer size of Squid Game's popularity and the speed at which it took off. But Netflix and all streaming service ratings data comes with some important caveats. These numbers are coming from Netflix itself and have not been vetted by any outside sources. Also, that $100 million figure doesn't mean everyone watched the series from start to finish. Also important. But I don't necessarily think that that's as important of a metric.
Only look at the next sentence, though.
It is based on Netflix metric of accounts watching at least 2 minutes.
Yeah. Which
2 minutes
says a lot. 2 minutes is how much they're counting for a viewing of this series. So I feel like that's where, and a lot of people have critiqued Netflix for the statistics that they release, because
they're often fluffed up.
There's no way of knowing, like, this is Netflix just telling us this is it. It's not like with other networks and stuff, you have like Nielsen ratings, so it's like a separate entity that is reporting these the numbers. This is just Netflix could be telling us anything. Not to mention, we got
Netflix 8 billion people watching our show.
Exactly. So, and not to mention, even if we do go by the statistics they're giving us, this is still only based off of people watching 2 minutes of the show. 2 minutes? I would love to see obviously it probably still wouldn't be completely accurate, but I would love to see a breakdown of, like, by episode.
Yeah.
How much? Because I feel like you would see a substantial drop off probably between episode 1. I would also like to see just the stats for episode 1 and how many people are making it through that entire episode, because I don't think that first episode, nothing, like, you don't really get to anything.
Yeah, it's a bit of a slow starter.
You get to red light, green light.
Yeah,
that's like the actual game.
That's like 70% of the way through the episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be an interesting metric to see as well.
Yeah. So we always have to take Netflix statistics with a grain of salt.
Netflix drop the YouTube analytics. Show us the viewer retention rate.
I need it. I do not doubt, though, that Squid Game is probably their biggest show. When they mean accounts, like, do they just mean like
that means just single accounts?
Because I don't know. I feel like they would. That doesn't seem like it would make a lot of sense. I don't know, but maybe
you got to keep in mind now. I got to find out what's Netflix's user base. Like, how many users does Netflix actually have? Netflix total subscribers. Yeah, they have 209 million. As of Q2 2021, Netflix has roughly 209 million global paid memberships, an increase of 16 million from the same period last year. And I will say, I do think that they actually increased in subscribers due to the popularity of this show. I think I saw something
that
like
is still really interesting to me, because
111
for some reason that makes me think,
that makes me doubt that more now, that it's just individual accounts.
Because that means that over half of Netflix subscribers over half of Netflix subscribers watch this show. That's a lot of people.
That is a lot.
That's just the thing is like, I don't know. I feel like that 2 minute thing is kind of important because it's just like, okay, say people watch 2 minutes of Squid Game. What if then they get
They're like, "Ah, this is
25
boring."
minutes into the episode, nothing like too gripping has happened.
But
and they
25
go,
minutes is a substantial
I don't want to
amount.
watch this.
That's still a
Yeah,
substantial
but
amount.
I
of
don't
invested
know
time.
if I would say it's enough to. I don't know if I'd be like, okay, that let's count this person as a viewer. Like I feel like because it like conflates the numbers,
Yeah.
right? And so like I'm pretty sure Nielsen, like whenever they look at their network rankings, are probably looking at people who are fully watching it. You know,
Yeah, like retention rate and whatnot.
right? That's just a thing. We cannot completely trust Netflix. I think the reason that Squid Game is, I see more of that is because it's very memeable. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of stuff
Meme
you can take
potential.
from that. Yeah, it has a ton of meme potential and
Always bringing it back to the memes.
a
Memes are
bunch of
number one marketing.
exactly. They are. So it's hard to escape that. Because there's even just that one that's always circulating of Gihan where he's like smiling and then like doing the sad face.
Yeah.
So it's just like I think that makes its online presence larger than something like Bridgerton.
I guess now to your point about it being a Korean show versus an American show, I think this does spell some interesting things as to what we could see from Netflix going forward. I think that the popularity of non-English content is starting to grow, and I think generally in that space we're starting to see more of that. Obviously, what was it? I guess a year ago or a year or two ago, I can't remember exactly the time frame, but when Parasite won Best Picture at the Oscars, that was obviously not a mainstream popular film, but within film circles, that was very huge. And then we also have just even on Netflix, trying to think it's called Money Heist in English. I'm trying to remember. I think it was
Yeah.
called La Casa de Papel in
Yeah, it is.
Spanish. Like that was an insanely popular show. Maybe
Yeah.
not
And
to this extent. Yeah,
it's I'm pretty sure it's one of their top 10.
yeah, no,
like, all
it's one
time.
of their most popular shows. So obviously, non-English content, there is a audience for it, and I think we may start to see a little bit more of that sort of content going forward. I think, and not to make a generalization, I think Korean content in general has a very large audience in America. Because obviously
Oh,
you
yeah,
have the
without a doubt.
K-pop fans, K-drama fans. It's already insanely popular in the States and in other countries as well.
Like Netflix has their kind of hit show. So I think like you're saying, like, yeah, like Korean stuff is huge in America. Also, just like Latin American stuff is really big because
Yeah.
obviously you've got people like Bad Bunny just coming in and like blowing up and just like that sort of Latin sound kind of taking over. We could start to see more content. The thing is, I'm super jaded. Like I'm so jaded. People do take to foreign language content, but I think it's very particular.
Mm-hmm.
So and I even look at just like how many people are probably not probably, but how many people are watching Squid Game with an English dub.
Yes.
You know, when you do that, it's like you're not necessarily coming for foreign content.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're just like you that's still not something people can completely fathom. And of course, like obviously there are probably people that like I mean there's a small amount of people that probably just have to
Oh yeah,
you
no,
know do
obviously there's
English dub. Like I'm not trying to be like ableist or anything, but like
of course, yeah, exactly.
but I like the large majority of people using English dub are just doing it because they don't want to have
I don't want to
read.
read my show.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the one line I've always seen, and it's like the Bong Joon Ho quote right here.
yeah, I'm really jaded, and I'm just like, people don't really care about foreign content. Like, they don't care. They don't care.
I think that's a bit
It
cynical. I think
it is, and I know people do care to see it. But it's like if Netflix is like, all right, we're gonna go all in on Korean content now. It's like, are they going to see the same type of reception?
Oh no, I doubt. I think this is definitely the exception rather than the rule, but it's starting to spell out a larger trend in the entertainment industry in general.
Yeah.
Obviously, the popularity of Korean content as a whole is growing and booming, and having a show, because obviously K-dramas have been super popular in the States, but nothing to this degree. Nothing to the extent with which this has dominated the cultural conversation. It's tough to say, but I think over the next couple years, we'll start seeing some more. And like I said, it is indicative of the entertainment industry as a whole.
I genuinely hope people go out and find more content and become more open to foreign language content forward. And we will see. We will see.
We will see. I think, like I said, I think we're on a trend towards that. I think the popularity of a lot of foreign language content has been like a very positive look thus far. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see in the coming years. I think we'll really find out in due time.
Time will tell.
Who knows? Maybe we'll have another #1 show on Netflix that's not in English in a year or two. So who knows? Who knows?
Maybe.
Stranger Things, Korean edition. Yeah, don't do that.